Good evening and welcome to the January 24, 2017 business meeting of the Council of the Borough of Ringwood. This meeting is being broadcast live and will be replayed on Channel 77 throughout the week. Adequate notice of this business meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this business meeting by consent agenda resolution number 2017-12, adopted January 5, 2017, through a legal notice published in the Suburban Trends issue of January 15, 2017, and through notices faxed to the following named newspapers and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on January 10, 2017. The Suburban Trends, the Bergen Record, and WGHT. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to turn off any electronic devices they may be in possession of. Laurel, can we have a roll call on attendance, please?
Mayor Spear.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Here.
Council members Davison.
Here.
Landis.
Here.
Marsala.
Here.
Noonan.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
Thank you. Also present, Borough Manager, Director, Department of Public Works, Scott Heck, and Borough Attorney, Richard J. Klimak. Deputy Borough Manager, that's erroneous, and Borough Attorney, Richard J. Klimak. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business tonight is to introduce Laurel as the acting borough clerk. This is resolution number 2017-62. Whereas the borough clerk is temporarily absent from the council meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Ringwood, which is being held on Tuesday, January 24, 2017, and whereas pursuant to NJSA 40A:9-157, the governing body may designate some person to act in the place of such officer during this temporary absence. Now therefore be it resolved that the municipal council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby designates Laurel O. Kidd to act in the place of the clerk during this temporary absence and will serve the same with compensation. Can I have a motion to that resolution?
So moved.
2017?
Second.
Mayor
Yes,
Mayor
roll call,
Spear?
please. Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Council member Davison.
Yes.
Landis.
Yes.
Marsala.
Yep.
Noonan.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next order of business on the agenda are proclamations and presentations. This being a proclamation for Martin Luther King Day. Whereas the United States has designated the third Monday of January as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and whereas we in Ringwood wish to honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as the preeminent civil rights leader of our time, and whereas to achieve the traditional American goals of personal freedom and equal rights for all, Dr. King preached to all, the poor and discriminated against, as well as the privileged, his gospel of nonviolence and peaceful protest. And whereas Dr. King was an eloquent speaker whose I Have a Dream speech will forever inspire the downtrodden and victims of unfair discrimination to imagine a better world and to work for justice and equality for all. And whereas Dr. King pursued his dream tirelessly and courageously until his untimely death by an assassin's bullet at the age of 39. Now therefore I, John M. Spear, on behalf of the Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood, do hereby proclaim January 16, 2017 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in our community as a tribute to a truly great leader, and urge all our residents to join me in rededicating ourselves to the principles of justice and equality for all. Our next order of business is the approval of minutes. I don't think we have any this meeting.
Mayor, I pulled the minutes in the absence of Ms. Holowitz, so we'll revisit them next meeting.
Very good. Next on the agenda is the general public portion. Anyone wishing to address the mayor and council, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Try to keep your comments brief, 3 minutes or so would be great.
Paul Rubacki, 99 Edward Drive. Just want to talk actually worked out good today. Situation, Skyline Drive this morning, I go over Skyline Drive about 5:30 in the morning. It was very icy. I ended up calling the police, and I think they shut the road right after that. The interesting thing is I get to the top, to the pipeline, it's black. You know, Bergen County is really doing a really good job maintaining a road that services about 4 dozen residents on their side. And I've just found that Passaic County hasn't really come to the same level. I think Skyline Drive is more important to Ringwood and West Milford than it really is to Oakland.
Certainly.
You know, and it needs to be, we need to have better service. It just seems to get shut more often. And, you know, we pay a lot of taxes up here, and I think most of us feel the county doesn't give us a lot for it. And the least they can do is give us 5 pounds of salt. You know, I seem to remember years ago that Bergen County, I don't know if it was a shared services agreement or just being gentlemanly, used to send their plow, you know, over to Conklin Town Road, turn around and go back up. I mean, I don't know whether, you know, it would seem to me if Bergen County's up there salting it in the middle of the night, for them to come down to Conklin Town, turn around, would be very efficient for everybody involved. And, you know, you see the disruption, reading on Facebook this morning, everybody when, you know, not only, you know, schools are on delay, but then Skyline Drive's closed and people are trying to figure out, do I go Sloatsburg? Do I go through Wanacue? You want to get through Wanacue before their school buses go. You know, maybe we can, you know, push the county to do just a little better job for us, because when it, you know, it's closed in the morning or closed at night, it just makes it very unbearable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Lane, 104 Mohawk Trail. I don't think I was at the last meeting, and I've tried to catch it on the our channel, but I haven't been able to. The soil testing, did that come back? It was supposed to be sometime in January. So I was wondering if that came back, what the results are.
I have some preliminary, I don't have any of the actual data, but I'm going to talk about that with the council a little bit in executive session later.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Anybody else?
Hi. Hi, Laurel. You remember how to spell my name? 24 High Point Lane. The soil testing did come back, and Joe Gower said there was no detect on the 1,4-dioxane so far, so that's what I heard today. Okay. At a recent council meeting, the mayor doubled down on the council's decision to cap 106,400 tons of toxic waste in Ringwood. There is unease in the community over this decision, and here are some of the reasons why there should be. First and foremost, the mayor and the council's environmental consultant have said that the Superfund site and the Ringwood municipal wells are in 2 completely different watersheds. That is not accurate. All of Ringwood, except for a small portion to the east of Skyline Drive, is in the Wanacue watershed, meaning that all the surface water flows to the reservoir and the Wanacue River. I know that there is something called sub-watersheds, and I called the DEP and spoke to their geologist, who said that they are just drawn by someone looking at a map and saying, well, I think this might go there and this might flow there. They're not scientifically drawn. But the watershed, the Wanacue watershed is. Ringwood's largest producing well is the Beatty Lane well, and it's in the sand and gravel, and it's very close to the reservoir. This is replenished by surface as well as groundwater, as is the Canisi Lane well. All of Ringwood sits on the Highlands Aquifer, which is fractured and complicated. Most geologists agree that definitively stating where the groundwater is flowing in the Highlands Aquifer is a fool's errand. At a public hearing in the late 80s, which was regarding the deletion of the site at that point, Mr. Orlean, who was the EPA's geologist at the time, replied to a resident concerned with groundwater contamination, quote, The other way, speaking as you mentioned before, drilling into fractured bedrock, doing a well here and there is a shot in the dark. Being a geologist, I know it's very difficult to track down which way the fractures are going. We can get an idea by mapping the surface geology, the geology of the subsurface. We may be able to track fractures down below the subsurface and get it that way. But again, you're dealing with ifs, ands, and buts here. The EPA's recent discovery of an unknown fracture at the site containing lots of flowing water confirms Mr. Orlean's comments. Another interesting comment from the same public hearing is from a gentleman living in Erskine. Quote, "But the thing that bothers me is that I live in Erskine Lake and we draw water from our wells. And we are concerned whenever we talk about it. I was wondering, water does travel from fissures in the rocks, and how far does it travel? No one seems to know." All of our wells in Ringwood, and we're not talking about private wells now, that's another story, are less than 3 miles from the Superfund site. And nobody knows what's going on underground. It is also a known fact that contamination in soil seeps into the ground and finds its way into the groundwater, leaving over 100,000 tons of toxic soil on the site is a very dangerous decision for Ringwood's surface and groundwater. Arcadis, which means Ford, states in their 2015 water report nearly 30 years of historical data. Flow of groundwater and surface water, I'm quoting, at the site are well understood. Yes, they know where the surface water flows, but they do not know where the groundwater is flowing. There has not been 30 years of historical data. Surface water testing was stopped in 1990, and in 2004, when I toured the site, test wells were rusted and had not been used in years. Of course, this changed when the site was relisted in 2006, but they only test yearly, and I believe that we should be testing our municipal wells monthly for the chemicals that are at the Superfund site. Over 40 years after the dumping took place, there are still detections of arsenic, lead, and benzene in the mines and the ground and surface water. 1,4-dioxane has been detected in many wells and in the surface water that runs into Sally's Pond. Mayor, you also continue to compare the capping of O'Connor to the capping of the mines. You know full well the capping of the mines does not preclude cleaning the contaminated water at the bottom of Peter's mine, which is what the groundwater record of decision coming in late 2017 will address. Will the council support remediation of the contaminated water in the mines, which would entail pump, treat, and recycle 24/7 for many years? And we could never really get into the contaminated water that is in the fissures at this point, because no one knows where they are, but it's there, believe me. As we found out during the MTB contamination, which Mayor Spear knows, one of the reasons that the whole community got public water was because they said that you would never know what was in the fissures, and something this year, next year, 20 years from now, could flush through the fissures and bring it into your wells. And I think, Mayor, you receive public water, am I right? With the MTBE, yeah. I wasn't sure. For all of these reasons, I ask the council to reverse their decision to cap tons of toxic waste in Ringwood and to support remediation of the contaminated water in the mines. The only definitive way to protect our groundwater and to remove the stigma of the Superfund site is for you to assure the public that you will support a full cleanup of the Ringwood Mines Superfund site. Thank you.
Robert Ferretti, 26 Longview Lane. As usual, I'd like to keep it relatively simple. I I'd just like to see the council take a more green stance on things in general. It's obvious to me that the people who live in the vicinity of the quarry, I went to the quarry meeting, and it's obvious to me that those people are not happy relative to many things: dust, noise, shaking, cracks in homes, and other things that they're mentioning, as well as I've lived in town for over 10 years in 2 different sections of town, and none of which were Stone Town, but I've always found it irritating / dangerous and intimidating as I go over Westbrook Road and encounter dump trucks. And they're right, you usually see more than one, if it's light out. And I drive a full-size Chevy. It's not that big, and I'm really watching my mirrors. It's not okay. I don't know what if the new bridge is going to be bigger or what the story is, but I would say in general, the road isn't safe for the trucks, never mind the damage that they do that I believe the Ringwood taxpayer pays to fix. It was brought up at that meeting that they only pay around $40,000 in taxes. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds like 2 expensive homes built on that property would account for that. I understand, they're grandfathered in to what they do there, and whatever the case may be with it being sticky with the law and chasing him down, but there is a resolution or whatever it was that was passed, things that they're supposed to follow, and I think it would be smart to follow up on that and make sure. I think it'd be worth putting it into the budget to spend a certain amount of money making sure that they follow that, because it seemed to irritate a lot of the Ringwood residents. It's like second to the Superfund site for taking away from property value. I mean, you see people complaining that they bought a home and weren't aware of it, and that's sad. So that it's such a big deal to them is what's sad. So if we could more aggressively fight to not cap the site, because capping is only equally protective of human contact at the Superfund site, that would be great, because one of the most concerned people, I think, in Ringwood of the environment is Venka. And Venka, I didn't hear her talking about human contact at all. She was definitely talking about the water. And it's what I hear on Facebook all the time and in all of our meetings of the public about this. So it's most concerning. Leaving it there, I think, threatens the water. I know it threatens the water. And I would appreciate if we were more aggressive relative to the environment in town and protecting it, because I think most people live in this town because of the beautiful environment we surround ourselves with. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
So you want to move to close?
Second.
Hold on a second. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim closed it.
Okay, roll call on closing, please.
Okay. Mayor Spear,
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Councilmember Davison.
Yes.
Landis.
Yes.
Marsala.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
And Schaefer.
Yes.
Just one quick comment. It's not clear to me what benefit there is in doing a full removal at O'Connor disposal area and leaving the waste in the Peters Mine pit and in the Cannon Mine pit. Peters Mine pit in particular. The EPA has stated in their proposed plan and throughout their documents that the O'Connor disposal area doesn't have a groundwater contamination plume associated with it. However, the Peters Mine pit does, excuse me. The Peters Mine pit is right across the street from the O'Connor disposal area. So if I have something across the street that is leaching into the groundwater, and I have this area here that doesn't, this is going to cost us money to get into the O'Connor disposal area. That's that is what I have come to believe in looking at this problem for the past 8 years. It's going to cost us. And doing a removal at the O'Connor disposal area would not constitute a full cleanup. There will still be the waste in the Peters Mine pit and in the Cannon Mine pit. Whatever they decide to do with the groundwater, we certainly will not prejudge it. We will wait until they go through the rest of their studies and come up with their answers, and then we will review those answers. I don't think that we're in the position to decide to make a decision as to what we think is the proper cleanup technology that they're going to apply over at the site right now. So we will be watching and we will be waiting to see what that is. But there is no, the O'Connor disposal area is not what's keeping us from a full cleanup. It is not what is keeping us from having our site delisted. There is no evidence and no reasonable probability that this is ever going to get into our wells. It's been in the ground for 50 years. It hasn't made it to the reservoir. It hasn't made it to our wells. It won't be doing that anytime soon. And sounds like most of the issues that were raised are issues with the EPA and their methodology and how they do how they do their work, which is really not something that I can intelligently address. It's a little bit beyond me. It's pretty technical stuff, and I'm thinking that they know what they're doing. I have to take it on faith, even though they have failed us on a number of occasions. We're still left with having to take it on faith that they have this right. I think that's really all I have. Did you?
A couple quick
anything you
things.
wanna
Skyline
point out?
Drive, I can't agree with you more. I had a
Indeed.
conversation with them. I now have the supervisor direct phone number so that I can contact him directly. I also now have their radio frequency in my truck so that we can communicate and find out where the trucks are. So we're working on a better system because unfortunately, there's a lot of times that we are going there, plowing the road and salting, when they're not there. And occasionally they've had some breakdowns and I can't, that stuff happens. They do have a lot of road miles in Ringwood, but Skyline Drive is an important road and needs to be open. Mayor, I can give a summary if you want of the 242-page document, for the folks tonight.
You have something to-
I have kind of a brief summary,
Okay.
in case you wanted it, but I wanted to ask you if you wanted me to do that first. I would like to talk about it a little bit in executive session later, but would you like me to
If
do
you
that?
can go over the outline of it, yeah, that would be good.
This is really briefly, Cornerstone, the company for the engineer and geologist for Ford Motor Company, took 43 samples at the site, 41 native samples and 2 blind duplicates, collected from the former SR removal area within OCDA. That's the area that we're concerned around where they have OB17. Many of these samples were taken from below the water table as well. 1,4-dioxin was not detected in any of the 43 samples, and a localized source of 1,4-dioxin was not identified at all. They also took 2 paint waste superficial fragments that were also collected from OCDA, and EPA asked them to analyze that for 1,4-dioxin as well. And the results indicated that no 1,4-dioxin was reported in either of the 2 the paint waste samples. EPA approved the soil investigation work plan proposed by Cornerstone and the depths and the locations and the number of samples that were taken and analyzed. They did do an awful lot of samples in a very small area, both at all different elevations and above the water table and below the water table. And in all of those samples, none of them were detected for 1,4-dioxin. So that was the result. It's 242 pages, so I have not digested the whole thing. I asked for a summary because I had a feeling we would want to talk about it this evening. So that's what happened with that sample that they did in and around OB17, which is the only well in OCDA that had results of 1,4-dioxin in it. So the other wells in OCDA had no 1,4-dioxin at all. So that's the results. Let's see. I don't believe all the wells are within 3 miles of the Superfund site, but I will check the actual distance between them. Westbrook Road, we do have to follow up on the bridge and the truck. It's a county road and it's a county bridge, and I'm not sure why it's taking so long. And it is difficult for cars to maneuver on that road while there's trucks on that bridge. It's a tight bridge. So we call the county on a regular basis to try and move that along, and I think the county would like to move that along. I think they've had some contractor issues, but we continue to follow up on that on a regular basis. And I think Councilman Martucci suggested that we ask the county to come up here and address the council. I think that's a good idea relative to the bridge, or at the very least, send one of their engineers. So that's all I have on the public portion, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, moving on. Looks like we have no old business tonight. New business, we have the introduction of one ordinance. Counselor?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it's ordinance 2017-01. If I could have a motion to read by title.
So moved. Second.
Roll call and read by title?
Mayor Spear?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, an ordinance to amend Chapter 19, Streets and Sidewalks, Street Openings and Excavations, the revised ordinance of the Borough of Ringwood, to increase fees. Scott, do you want to give any quick explanation?
Yeah, this came from the engineer, and the fees hadn't been addressed in I don't think since 1985. Like we had inspection fees of $10 and things like that. You certainly can't get there for $10. So the borough engineer recommended fee structures, and this is mainly for power companies, insurance companies, gas companies, people that open our roads for whatever reason, and he's just raising the fees as outlined in the ordinance.
Okay. All right, I'll recite the resolution. Resolved that ordinance number 2017-01 is hereby introduced, and that the municipal clerk is directed to publish a copy of the said ordinance in the official newspaper of the municipality, with the public hearing and second reading to be on February 16, 2017, at 8 p.m. at the municipal building. Motion. Second.
Do we have a motion?
Second. Motion. Second.
Mr. Noonan, Mr. Marsala?
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
And Landis.
Next order of business are resolutions. Mr. Heck? do
Yeah,
have
thank
that?
you, Mayor. Resolution 2017-36, whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified the funds are available for the payment of the current bill list in the amount of $316,823.66. Supplemental payments in the amount of $3,597,024.03. Merchant fees in the amount of $59.75, and Alpoa Dam Assessment Fees Fund in the amount of $24,806 to be collected to the following accounts, for a total of $3,938,713.58, of which $1,007,209 goes to the Ring Board of Education, $1,118,650 goes to Lakeland Board of Education.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Resolution 2017-37. Be it resolved that the following appropriation transfers be made in the general current account for the financial records of the Borough of Ringwood, and these are budgets to budgets for January. Streets and roads salary and wages to Streets and Roads OE, $8,000. Bulk utilities OE to library OE, $2,000. That's it.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, Scott, can you just explain to the public what budget to budgets means? I just don't want them to think we're adding money.
Yeah, no, this is no new money. In other words, so that there's transparency, when you transfer from Streets and Roads salary and wages line item of the budget, they're all separated to Streets and Roads operating expenses. This is a transfer, so it's done on the record so that you can track those transfers. So this isn't any new money. This is just transferring money to cover expenses that were needed for those particular line items.
Thank you.
Short list.
This month was a very short list, yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
We already had that, so now,
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Resolution 2017-38, this is a resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for the borough attorney for 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I know you don't like the words, but that's what they call it in the state law, so that's
what
why
they
it's
call
that
it.
way.
Yeah. Understood. Being no discussion, can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
2017-39, whereas a contract was awarded to CFM Construction for the 792 Skyline Drive water tank rehabilitation, contract number 2015-102S, and that's for the temporary water service on May 17, 2016. And whereas H2M Associates prepared current estimate number 5, partial in the amount of $35,366.24 for the work performed on the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves current estimate number 5, partial in the amount of $35,366.24 to CFM Construction of Sterling, New Jersey. Be it further resolved, this payment be made subject to the New Jersey monthly Manning reports and certified payroll records as required by contract specifications.
So, you done?
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Jim.
Any discussion?
We're done.
Are we done?
It's done.
Oh, I'm sorry, with the
Last
tank?
payment, last payment will be next month?
Yeah, last payment will be next month. So,
Outstanding. Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
I thought you were going to ask if we were done, though. I was going to say the next one is also the same topic, just different contractor. 2017-40, whereas a contract was awarded to Braggerton Construction for the Skyline Drive 792 water tank rehabilitation, contract number 2015-102C. And this is for the tank and coatings rehabilitation on May 17th, 2016. And whereas H2M Associates prepared estimate number 8, partial in the amount of $159,250 for the work performed on the project. Now therefore be it resolved, the Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves current estimate number 8, partial in the amount of $159,250 to Braggerton Construction of Linden, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that this payment be made subject to the New Jersey monthly Manning reports, certified payroll records, which are both required by contract specifications.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Came online today?
Came online today, yes. Very happy to get that done.
Outstanding. Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Resolution 2017-41, whereas a professional services contract was awarded to H2M Associates on May 12, 2015 for the rehabilitation of the 792 Skyline Drive 792 water tank project, contract number 2015-102, in the amount of $174,100 for the property survey, present condition evaluation, design, permitting, construction supervision, and the construction inspection for this project. And whereas H2M Associates has submitted and the Borough Engineer concurs and has has reviewed and recommends the payment in the amount of $20,988.02, invoice number 121404. Now therefore be it resolved, Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves the payment of $20,988.02 to H2M Associates of Melville, New York.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
The next resolution is actually a resolution that someone had posted a cash bond while they were waiting for a regular bond, so you're giving him back his cash bond while you're accepting a maintenance bond. So, 2017-42, be it resolved, Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby authorizes the return of the cash bond of $36,244.88 and the acceptance of a maintenance bond in the same amount to, I think it's BAJWA Fuel and Car Wash LLC. That's for the new car wash, the new gas station.
Who's this? So moved.
Pardon me?
Who's,
That's the car wash at the end of the street. The gas station. at the
Margaret
end.
King and Greenwood Lake Turnpike?
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
No, it's
get
the
a-
exact same dollar amount. It's just one was cash, and now we have a maintenance bond.
I think last month we went from a performance bond to a maintenance bond. After he does his work, he has posts a performance bond to do his work. Once he's done with his work, he gets his performance bond back, and he gives us a maintenance bond for the next year.
Okay.
So that's what this is.
Mayor, we need a second.
I'll move second.
Okay.
Thank you for watching out for Laurel.
I know, I kept on.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
She was watching out, Mayor. She was just a little shy about speaking up.
No, I was looking at Bill and I'm like, he knows he's first, but no one else seconded yet.
If she's here for the next meeting, she will very clearly tell you guys what you need and what you don't need. 2017-43, resolution of the Borough of Ringwood appointing Wanda Chin Monahan as environmental counsel.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Next one is the exact same thing, except that this is for the insurance, this is appointing it for the Upper Ringwood for insurance carriers. Resolution of the Borough of Ringwood appointing Wanda Chin Monahan as environmental counsel for the Upper Ringwood matters.
So moved.
Second.
And this is basically because there are some things that Wanda does, the bulk of what Wanda does is chargeable to the insurance companies.
Correct.
But there will be things that are not chargeable, not rightfully chargeable to the insurance companies that.
There's things that we do that the insurance companies will not pay for, and there's things that we do that they do, so she needs a contract with us on both.
But the bulk of it is through the carrier.
Correct.
Through the carriers. Okay, we have a motion and a second?
I do, I just need a roll call.
Take a roll call, please.
Mayor
Oh, you
Spear?
know what, before we,
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we had a second. Just wanted to say that, as a colleague of mine, Wanda really does a great job and is very impressive. Someone who also practices, she's very, very good at what she does. So, I'm glad to pass this.
Great. Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
As you all know, that we've been replacing the radio system for the police department and emergency services. It's long overdue. There were parts of the radio system we couldn't get. We couldn't get repair buttons for and whatnot. So it was time for that to be upgraded. So contract 2017-45, whereas the contract was awarded to D&M Radio Corp., doing business as communication service and integrators located at Chester, New Jersey, in order to supply and install Kenwood mobile and portable radios for the police department. Now therefore be it resolved, Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves progress payment number one in the amount of $80,573.05 for the work completed and recommended by the Chief Financial Officer Debbie Lombardo. Debbie Buchanan for DM Radio Services Inc. Doing business as communication service integrators of Chester, New York. I don't know where that came from.
You saw the word chief.
I guess. I guess this is the same radio.
And then you're still looking a few years back.
Yes, yeah, I've been here a long time. This is the same company that we've used several times. They've done a great job for us, and they're updating it so that we can make sure that we have communication for our emergency services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
You can tell we have a new CFO. She changed the wording of resolutions. 2017-46, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas a contract was awarded to D&M Radio Service, Communication Service Integrators, Chester, New York, in order to supply and install a console equipment for the police department. Now therefore be it resolved, the Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves the progress payment number 2 in the amount of $80,573. This is a duplicate of the other one.
This is for the stuff in the dispatch office, and the other one was for the mobile and...
No, this is the exact same
No,
dollar
one
amount.
is Zetron console equipment and one is Kenwood mobile and portable radio. This is the Zetron console equipment,
Yeah,
46.
I would like to hold 46, because this is the exact same
Exact same
dollar
amount.
And the desk is not $80,000, so there's something wrong with this resolution. So I will hold that one and get back to you. I'm gonna get back, we're gonna hold that resolution. Next is the consent agenda. I'm going to read this for the clerk this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heck.
Consent Resolution 2017-47, whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ringwood has reviewed and the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, and whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ringwood is not desirous of removing any resolutions for any individual action from that agenda, now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. 2017-47 is the approval of the consent agenda. 2017-48 is the approval of the payroll and payroll transfers for December of 2016. 2017-49 is the authorization of redemption tax sale certificates various. 2017-50 is the authorization of the redemption of the municipal lien. 2017-51 is the refund of a state court tax appeal of 801 4.03. 2017-52 is the authorized 2016 property tax reduction for disabled seniors and veterans, various. 2017-53 is the approval of voided check. 2017-54 is the approval of the borough holidays. 2017-55 is the authorization of closing Skyline Drive for St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday, March 25th, 2017. 2017-56 is to authorize the use of the Park and Ride facility for St. Patrick's Day Parade on the same day. 2017-57 is the certified Ringwood Ambulance Corps as the emergency services provider for the borough. 2017-58 is the professional services payment for the water system computer modeling contract number 2016-105 for $2,350. 2017-59 is the contract payment for the corners of the borough-owned property, lots 603, lots 13, the borough contract 2016-13 in the amount of $3,400. 2017-600 is the professional services invoice for painting of the Victorian portion of the Borough Hall, $720 for the remaining part, and refund escrow of money upon advice of the planning board, lot 400 Blockfield.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second.
Who seconded that?
Mr. Noonan,
Okay.
we got a roll call, please?
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison?
Yes.
Landis?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
And it's back to you, Mr. Heck, when you get a moment.
Yes. Manager's report. We didn't do a lot at the December meeting because there was a lot going on and there were some weather issues. And, each year I like to start out by thanking the mayor and council for their support of our daily activities here at Borough Hall. We're not able to accomplish what we accomplish without all of your support. So myself and the Borough Hall employees appreciate that. I'm going to talk very briefly. I'm going to kind of go through some of our goals or as follows. Obviously, in 2017, we're going to continue controlling the budget. That's always a high priority. Deputy Mayor Martucci really requires that. But that's something that's going to be a high priority. We're going to continue a lot of our projects. We've noticed that the drainage projects are something that all the residents need, and we've made a huge dent in them over the last couple of years, but we're going to continue to do that. We're also going to make a lot of the necessary improvements to our streets and roads, and we're going to do as much as we can with our DPW crew. We've been able to train them over the years to do a lot of these functions in-house, and I think we've saved a lot of money and done a lot more because we've trained our own crews to do that. We're also going to enhance our facilities and bring them up to today's standards. We're always looking to streamline the departments, enhance services wherever possible. We're going to continue to work on revitalizing our vision for Skyline Drive, the commercial district, and finalize our long-term and short-term plan that'll ensure some financial stability for our community going forward. Skyline Drive needs to be revitalized, and hopefully that we will see some of that coming very soon. I think we've been stalled a little bit because of this state of New Jersey lawsuit that every town in New Jersey with co and affordable housing are living through. Unfortunately, that's just a fact of life. That's what we all live through. So, but we're going to continue with that program as soon as we can get that through. And we've begun, obviously, our budget process for 2017. Currently, we have shared services with the Ringwood Board of Education, Pompton Lakes, the Borough of Pompton Lakes, the Borough of Wanacue, and the Borough of Bloomingdale. And all of these shared services help to generate some additional revenue for the borough and help to reduce some expenses for the borough. And we're going to look to expand some of those programs and look for others anywhere we can, because if we can utilize our services, that doesn't cost us anything to try and help another community. It helps them out, and it helps us out with revenues. I'm happy to report that we've received a favorable bond rate for borrowing of 0.9%. Some of the projects that have been completed in 2016 or are in the process of being completed are drainage and construction as part of Cupsaw Drive phases 4 and 5. They've been completed, and we're working on the next phase. We replaced a lot of the valves in Cupsaw, anticipating a paving so that we can start shutting down more of of Cupsaw Lake as we have water main breaks or problems where we can isolate areas so that the whole area wasn't without water when we're working on one side of the lake. We finished the construction of the retaining wall at the Borough Garage and got rid of the wall of tires that held the bank up and held our upper lot up at the Borough Garage. Obviously, the rehabilitation of Skyline Drive water storage tank is relatively complete. There's some odds and ends that have to be done, but it's back online as of today. And that was a huge project that encompassed a lot of time and a lot of effort. We also awarded to Neil Systems a contract to supply new hardware, software to in a reprogram of the Skyline Booster Station to be more accurate, more efficient, and more predictable for the controls of our pump station. They've received all the parts, and that should be starting now that the tank is back online. H2M has submitted a preliminary submission for the borough's GIS for the water system, and the water department, myself and Jeff Uwas are now going through that for its accuracy, which will also be something that will be very beneficial down the road to have a computer model of our system so that we can tell when you turn this off what it does and how it affects and who it affects, and rather than using the old maps that are limited in their information. We have an engineering company that was awarded a contract to survey and design and set property corners to make the improvements to the intersection of Kingsley Road and Hope Place. We're hoping to do those improvements this summer. That's been a long time project where we have a lot of accidents over the course of the year, blind corner in a neighborhood. Back on Monday, November 28th, Ringwood was notified that there was a sinkhole that opened up on borough property, as we've talked about quite a bit, located near the neighborhood near Van Dunk Lane. And due to the public safety concerns, and rather than fencing small portions of that property to fence this mine shaft or that mine shaft, all of the mine shafts were blasted shut by the DEP in 1965. However, there has been some areas where the ground has there been some subsidence and stuff over top of the well area where they blasted it shut. We decided to fence the entire property. So we're well in the way under the way of doing that. We did this through an emergency contract with the company in West Milford who does fencing. So we're going to fence the entire property. I've had a meeting with the adjacent property owners regarding the encroachments on the property, and we're working that out currently. The DBW has completed an incredible amount of work orders for drainage projects, filling potholes, creating berms, all kinds of things. Our work order system is somewhat robust, and I think they've done a great job at being reactive to the community as they have issues that come up. I encourage everybody to go to ringwoodnj.net, report a problem, or call my office, obviously. But we encourage the residents to do that because going to the website actually speeds up the process. It goes directly to the secretaries. They create a work order. It gets generated and sent to the DPW, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. Paving that was done in 2016, Northgate Park, Fountain Drive, Cheshire Lane, Ash Court, Meadowview Terrace, Stonetown Road from McGee to Westbrook, McGee Road from Meadowview Terrace to Westbrook Road. All of this was done. A lot of the drainage was done in-house, and some of the milling and so forth. We inspected and repaired the inlets in our town, and we did a lot of miscellaneous prep work for all the road work projects, as I mentioned. Many of you have noticed that the Borough Hall exterior facade has been completed, and we've received a lot of positive comments. And some of the offices on the first floor have also been renovated, and we anticipate working on the council chambers here this next year. The roof under the fire escape was replaced because it was leaking, and the second floor fire escape was also rebuilt. You know, if you don't take care of and invest in your facilities, they fall down around you, and as they're falling down around you, what happens is you have to spend significant amounts of money to replace them. I mean, look what happened in Wanacue. They replaced a significant building, I forget, $7-8 million, and so you have to maintain what you have, and you have to keep it in good repair. Otherwise, this is what happens. So this council has been investing in our infrastructure, which is important, because we certainly don't want we don't need a new Borough Hall. We just need to keep the one we have up. I mentioned about cleaning all the storm drains and inlets. Ringwood is ahead of the curve on our stormwater management. We we've complied with the new rules and regulations. We clean our storm drains, we root our pipes out. We do this for a couple of different reasons. One, it helps with flooding. Two, it helps all the lakes from having any type of sediment that goes into the lakes. And all that is helpful for the quality of the lake. There was somebody here who says we should be doing more green initiatives. Well, we should be commended for and I commend my guys all the time for what they do with stormwater management, because all of that is stuff that we do above and beyond, and we do that to keep the lakes clean and to keep the flooding down, and it's a great program.
And this year you started the program in using the brine and the beet juice.
Yeah, this year we switched to, we didn't switch to, we pre-treat and we try to cut down on the amount of salt by using liquid brine. You see the strips on the road and it's 80% liquid salt brine and 20% beet juice. And the sugars in the beet juice help to keep it from adhering to the road, the ice. And we found that that's been very effective. But sometimes we haven't had to use much salt because we pre-treated the streets. So yes, you're correct, and that's all part of stormwater management. We've also, in terms of green technology, we've continued our leak detection program. We've done every year we do a different lake area for leak detection of our water system. We do the whole water system. We identify leaks. We obviously go in and fix them, and that does two things. One, it saves the money for pumping the water, treating the water, and obviously the loss of water. All of that is important to the water system, and we continue with that. So that's another green initiative that we've taken care of, and we've done voluntarily to reduce our water loss in our water system. We also had a very successful auction this year, where anything that we're not using, anything that's laying around, I'm surprised at what people buy, but we auction off everything that is not being used. I already talked about the new radio communication that's being installed now. We talked about the computer modeling system already through our purchase orders. Rec had another busy year, and they expanded their services. I think they had a great year. Registrations were up from 3,200 to almost 4,500 in 2016. They continue to deal with different things on a day-to-day basis. You know, as our society changes, so do some of the rules and regulations of how we do things. Now we have to have security guards at every school, as we're using the schools for after-school programs and things. And so we always have to have a police officer there. So they regulate and they monitor all that to make sure that the schools are open. And it's an important thing to make sure that our schools have security guards there, because they're open buildings in the evening without any custodians. I think there's one there in the building, that's it. But so they manage that kind of thing, and all of that adds to the programs. They gave me a list of things that they currently do, but you guys know all of that stuff. We're in negotiations and discussions for the turf field at Lakeland School. While that won't solve all of our problems, that'll certainly help us, and I think it'll also help the school. I think it'll be a savings, because there's already a parking lot there, there's already facilities there, there's already lights there. So that's something that we're talking about now. So we're hoping that that'll be something that'll be positive. We've also talked to St. Francis Church to possibly rent their gym for periods of time to run some programs in it. It's empty. There's some times that we can't get on the fields right now. There's some times that programs need some indoor space. They have a gym there. So we've talked to them about that, and we're in the process of going through that right now.
Is that building empty now? And that's-
Yes, yes. You know, there's a lot of our programs that rent facilities. They'll go out and actually rent indoor space that they can use for, you know, I think there's one in Oakland, there's one in a couple different, so it's possible that's something that we can look to find some other uses for and reallocate some of that money to do that. Spring registration is now online for all of our programs for boys, girls lacrosse, 2nd through 8th grade, lacrosse clinics for kindergartens, 1st grade, baseball, girls softball, volleyball, little dribblers. Go to the website. Our programs are going on now. And, you know, last year we had a pretty successful year, and no one can manage a town alone. So I want to thank the mayor and council, certainly all the people at Borough Hall, the police department, and the DPW employees, and the residents, because a successful year takes everybody, the residents, the employees, and all of you guys to make it happen. So I think I'll end on that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heck. Next item of business is our attorney's report.
Yes, I have a matter, executive session matter on the declaratory judgment, affordable housing. Are there any other matters?
Yes. Borough, Ringwood, Upper Ringwood, whatever it is you call that. I don't see it's on here, but.
Yeah, no, it's on here, though.
Oh, second page, yes.
Okay, well, I'm adding to that the declaratory judgment matter, okay? Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, I'll do the resolution now. Resolve that the municipal council enter into executive session to discuss the following matters. Number one, litigation, the affordable housing declaratory judgment action pending in Passaic County. Number two, the Upper Ringwood Ford cleanup EPA potential litigation. Be it further resolved that minutes of the meeting be maintained and be available for public inspection upon conclusion of the matters. The public is advised that when the municipal council returns from the executive session, that it may take formal action on any matter discussed therein, or it may take formal action on any other matter.
So moved.
Second.
Sean?
Was it Sean?
Bill and Sean?
Mayor Spear,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Councilmembers Davison,
Yes.
Landis.
Yes.
Marsella.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Mayor, members of council. Councilwoman, anything?
I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay, it's been a quiet month for you.
Yes.
Very good. And Councilman Noonan?
Welcome back, Linda. Good to see you. Better health.
Thank you.
Stole my thunder. But welcome back. I'm glad that you're
Thank
healthy
you.
and everything.
Thanks for all your prayers and concerns.
Progress.
Indeed. Councilman?
No report, just the staff keep up the good work. It's good.
Yes. Councilwoman Landis?
I'm happy to see Linda back as well. Glad that you're feeling better.
Here, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
A letter to the county, who does that?
We'll do that.
Okay. Can we also get a letter to the Board of Education reminding them that we had offered?
We must get Ringwood back 100% magnificent in progress, and Passaic County open space and farmland and a historic society.
Thank you, Mark.
We had offered the Board of Education to videotape their meetings. I just want to be able to reaffirm that. Is there a letter we could send to the superintendent?
Sure, yeah, we could certainly do that, where we could just call and schedule, and if you would like to do that, I'll call and make those arrangements. And so, Laurel, can you just remind me of that?
Yes.
To call Board of Education for taping.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. I think we have a motion to go into executive session.
Yeah,
I know we have it. We
already did it.
We're ready to go, so we'll move into executive session now.
Mayor, the only thing that I'd like to
Oh, I'm sorry,
just mention is Kelly is not here, as you all know, and we certainly wish her a speedy recovery. Laurel is going to be filling in the meantime, and I appreciate her help with that, and we're going to kind of take care of the day-to-day operations in Kelly's absence. And I will tell you that those are not necessarily easy shoes to fill. So. Thank you.
Indeed, thank you.
But Laura will do her best. So now I try.
Hi, how are you? I'm Laurel.
Yeah.